Marnus, this day last year, when you were brought into the Australian side as number 3, there were plenty of questions asked, but you've probably answered most of them, haven't you?
Yeah, look, I haven't really had time to sit down and think about sort of how the whole year's unfolded. It's been pretty special. But last time this year, yeah, you're right. I was sitting here and there was sort of a lot of questions. But like I said, I'm thankful for the opportunity and obviously, scoring runs is always nice. You never take it for granted though, because it can turn very quickly.
Do you feel like, have you reached as comfortable as you can feel right now, or does it sort of every test you get that even more confident, or?
Yeah, definitely not comfortable. You definitely probably grow in confidence, especially playing the same opposition. So, you kind of get used to bowlers a little bit. You get used to their actions, and you're able to sort of continue the momentum of your batting against certain players. Obviously today was a lot different because they had a lot of new bowlers. So, it's been an enjoyable summer, and as a team, we're playing tremendously, so it's a great team to be a part of.
Manas, at some point during the Ashes, you used to speak about Steve Smith with awe, when he used to give new throwdowns or you used to bat next to him. Now that you're getting used to batting with him, do you still get awestruck, or are you just getting used to it? Also considering the fact that you yourself are a high-level batsman.
Look, I wouldn't be drawing in comparisons to Steve yet. He's played 78 tests, averages 63. He's been doing it for a long time, and his consistency is amazing, and today he just showed it again. But yeah, like I said, I love, we do spend a bit of time together, and I do enjoy batting with him. Watching him go about it and how he sort of figures out different plans. And, it is nice once we're both sort of in, we talk about different things out there. So it's, nothing changes. I still love batting with him.
And just about, considering you talk a lot about batting technique and you spend a lot of time in the nets, have you reached that point where, others in the batting lineup are coming to you, discussing stuff, more than they used to before?
I love talking about cricket, so if anyone wants to talk about cricket, I'm always willing. But yeah, for me, it's just, I try and stay in my own lane and make sure I concentrate on my game and doing what's best for the team. And occasionally, there'd be conversations about batting, but that's from our whole batting group. That's not just from me; it's from everyone. We're all trying to help each other out and become better players. Because at the end of the day, you want to rock up every day and continue to get better. That's all we try and do every day. Yeah.
Without drawing on the year-by-year comparison too much, if someone had said to you 12 months ago, you'll sit here today with 4 Test centuries to your name, what would you have said? Would you have kind of believed it?
Look, I believed that I had the ability. For me, it was a lot sort of mental, just making sure I stay focused for long periods of time. And no, I probably wouldn't have believed you. It has been a real, amazing year, and I definitely don't take it for granted. And for me, it's just about trying to make sure you ride the wave for as long as you can, and just try and keep things quite level. I think it's easy to get real up and down in sort of when you're real up at the moment, but yet when you're going well. So it's just trying to make a nice even kill, as the boys would say.
Marnus, Tim mentioned yesterday that Greg Chappell was a big supporter of yours when you first made the team, and perhaps your first-class average wasn't as high as it is now. Have you had a lot to do with Greg over the years, and was there any kind of key messages from him, as you've come through?
Not really. Like I said, this conversations must be going on in the background, because obviously I didn't know any of these conversations. But you do need people in your corner as you sort of push and try and come through into Test cricket. And it's great to hear that someone of that calibre did have my back. But at the end of the day, there's no other currency than runs. You can have a good technique, you can do this and that, but unless you're putting big scores on the board, eventually it doesn't matter. It can matter at the start, but you need to be putting runs on the board, and that's all I'm trying to do.
Marnus,
Has it felt any different today, the first day of the test, or leading into the test, with all of the bushfires around, with everybody's attention elsewhere? You know, sort of, it seems like there's less attention on a test match than there might be usually. Has it felt any different within the camp or out there playing today?
Look, rightly so. I think, you know, that the focus should be on the bushfires and with everything going on around Sydney. I think, you know, if all we did today was create a distraction or a bit of enjoyment for people in those tough times, I think that's a win for us. But like I said, the focus should be on the Fireys and what they're doing for the community, because that's the most important thing at this point in time. Personally, it didn't feel any different. You know, the crowd rocked up. I think it was 36,000 something. So that's a great crowd day one, and you know, we obviously got day three, which is sort of the iconic pink day. So you know, the crowd's going to be great again, and it's been great to be involved in a series where the fans and the crowds have been really high. So yeah.
Just seeing as we're on the year-by-year theme, when you look back at last year and now sitting here, is there a way you've changed as a cricketer or a person, do you think, or something that you've learned within that year that you can say is a bit different about you now?
I'd like to say I haven't changed as a person, that I'm the same when I was probably not performing that well, and now that I am performing well. But there's a lot of sort of things that go into, you know, sort of having a chance and probably not really taking my opportunity last year this time, and then this sort of summer being able to really take my opportunity. There's a lot of things technically, there's a lot of things mentally that I've had to work on, and you know, I think I've said it a few times, but you know, playing in England, there's no better way to learn your game than playing games. So you know, I had the opportunity to do that in England and score hundreds and get consistent over there. And which was something that I hadn't been able to do in Shield cricket. So,
Marnus, you spoke about how valuable that stint in county cricket was, but you've also had, you know, pretty much a consistent 12 months in the Australian setup now. A fair few of them with guys like Steve Smith and Dave Warner. How beneficial is it to your development to be, you know, embedded within that group?
Oh, yeah, amazing. I think having Steve and Dave back has made a massive difference to the whole team, and just, I think, you know, when you bring guys back that, you know, average 50 and 60, there's no wonder that, you know, we're doing consistently well as a team. So, you know, and to talk about the game and to learn from them as a younger player in the team is what you want to do as a younger player. You want to soak it all up because, you know, they've got so much knowledge. I mean, they play all three formats. So, you know, you might be good, you know, doing all right in one format, but they're doing all right in three formats. So, you know, there's so much to learn from them, not just in, you know, in Test cricket, but for all cricket. And, you know, they've got a wealth of experience. So to have them back is amazing.
We might just take a few more. You didn't notice you still use pads. So.
That's right.
Marnus, was it strange seeing Steve Smith take 39 balls to get off the mark, and how did you see that, and what have you made of the tactics of Wagner to Smith?
I actually had no idea he was on zero until the 38th ball. I actually thought we were rotating the strike quite well, which is quite funny. And we came to the middle, and I was like, why is everyone, you know, what's the carry on for? You know, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of oohing and ahhing, and he's like, I'm on zero. I was like, really? I had no idea. And then I think the next ball he got one on his hip, and I was actually probably sitting on my bat a little bit because I was sitting on my bat a bit because we hadn't run that one for the whole inning. So, you know, we took off for a quick one and I dove again. I think my pads have fallen apart. I'm diving that much. So, yeah, like I said, you know, they've come prepared, and they've come at the best batter in the world in a different way. And like you said, he's still countering it. He's still putting runs on the board. You know, so it's just a testament to him as a player. But, you know, that they have come prepared well.
Oh, just a question. I mean, why do you still have the pads on? And also, secondly, what do you have to say to people who I suppose, would say to you in the times that they've watched you bat with Steve Smith this summer that you've looked like the more accomplished player?
Well, the first question is just because we haven't had time to take them off yet. And the second question, I don't think it's even a comparison. For one person to perform for over a summer, or let's say over a year, to comparing that to a guy that's been performing for 8 years and has been at the top of his game for 8 years, or let's say 5 or 6 years straight. That's something I aspire to. I of course I want to be consistent and as consistent as Steve, but for me it's just making sure, I just keep taking the steps, step by step and game by game, and keep trying to put runs on the board. And when runs are flowing nicely, you want to make sure that lasts for as long as possible, because I said it before, but it can turn very quickly.
Mine is just a bit of a left field one. England lost a player to a soccer training injury. Did you sort of notice the intensity that they did that with in the Ashes, and is there any rules on your sort of warm-up games about how hard you can go?
Look, I'm always pushing for warm-up games. I love fun. I like to tell myself that I'm in charge of fun. Charge of, games, warm-up games. I'm always lobbying for a game. So that's probably not done me any good, him getting injured in a warm-up game, because that probably just proves the point. But like I said, I can't really comment. That they're usually pretty good at it. If you've watched them play, they're quite skilled with their feet. I think that's probably a reason why we don't play, because I don't think we'd have the same skills, and there'd probably be more injuries if that was the case. But yeah, like I said, it's very unfortunate for him because he's batting well at the moment.